And then he walked off, and I turned to the crowd and I said, audio visual aids. And they instantly realized that that's exactly what I was talking about. But I had to make myself this man's victim in order to benefit him, to see what was really in his heart. What was in his heart was murder. And so that is one of the things that the preacher has to learn how to do. He has to learn how to discern the hearts of the people that he's talking to and bring them to a place of revelation, self-revelation, without getting killed. Preferably. Any more questions? Yes?
At this point, do you have to, or do you go get permits through the authorities in an area before you begin to preach? Are you, going with the law, or you?
At this point, do you go get permits with the authorities and the law before you preach?
Very, very seldom. Because the First Amendment covers all public areas. Public schools, state schools, almost all of them do have free speech areas. They have free speech policies. Some are restricted, like Lock Haven. You have to get a permit, in which case we don't normally, the traveling preachers don't normally stop there because it takes 2 weeks to get the permit. Now, it might come to the point sometime when we can have an organization behind the preachers that could do the footwork and get these things done, because it would be nice to be able to hit some of these campuses. But there are so many campuses where it's just wide open, and so we just go to the ones where it's open. Now, we have two sides to the movement. We've got the campus side, which does all the major campuses in the country. Every year there's several preachers that do circuits and hit the campuses. But we have another group called, we call them the night shift. And these guys are something else. It's organized by a fellow named Reuben Israel, a house painter in LA. And he hits every event in the country, every one. NFL, when the Super Bowl was out in LA a couple years ago, the NFL committee called him up and said, "Reuben, are you going to come this year?" He said, "Yeah, I'll be there." So when he showed up, they had a stage for him with amplification and roped off with policemen on horses on either end to keep people away. But he preaches at every event in the country. He preaches Mardi Gras, Days of Decadence, Spring Break, the Preakness, the other horse races, the Indy 500, the Daytona 500. He is everywhere. I don't know how he does it. He runs his business, and on weekends he flies out every weekend of the year someplace in the country. Now, he has founded about 50 chapters in his group called Bible Believers. And when he goes to a city, he picks up the phone, he says, "I'll be here at such a time, can you come get me?" And 35 to 50 guys will show up, and they'll go out with him and work the streets every time. And he said and this guy, this is one of my favorite stories. He went up to Sturgis, I guess 2 years ago. Do you know what Sturgis is?
The Harley-Davidson rally.
Harley-Davidson rally. He went up there with the intention of preaching to the Hells Angels. So he went outside the Hells Angels bar, and he lifted up his voice and he began to preach, calling them out, telling them that they're wicked and going to hell. And of course, the Hells Angels came pouring out of the bar, and their first reaction was, "We're going to have to kill this guy." But then one of the Hells Angels said, no, don't do it, don't do it." He says, "He's got to be a police plant. Nobody can be that stupid." So he preached to them for about a half an hour, and then the Lord said, "Okay, you better get out of here. They're getting a little bit riled up." But he preached to them. And he preaches Mardi Gras. He preaches every sodomite parade in the country. He's there. So he refers to us as the day shift, and we refer to him as the night shift. So he likes to work at night, outside of bars, or wherever there's a group of people. He'll have somebody there. And he is one of the real moving forces in this country. He has probably, in his group alone, he has maybe 1,500 preachers that he's brought into preaching. And then on the campus side, we don't have quite that many, but we do have, the preachers that we have are traveling 5 days a week, Every school day, they're on campus somewhere preaching.
How do they get support?
How do they get support? Good question.